it's never easy to break into the industry. I've seen more people from banks and securities firm making that jump just because there's more relevance.
Accounting crypto means thousands of transactions, fluctuating prices, multiple wallets, exchanges, and bank accounts. One mistake means inaccurate reports, compliance risks, and wasted hours. CoinExBooks simplifies it all. Seamlessly import transactions, automate categorization, and get real-time insights. Fast, accurate, stress-free. CoinExBooks, your solution to the chaos.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Web3 Accountant Radio podcast. Today we have with us Winston, the founder of Tokalent. How do I pronounce the name?
Tokalent, yeah.
Tokalent. Thank you, Tokalent. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very excited to have Winston here. He's a first-class recruiter in the Web3 industry. I will let him introduce more about himself before we go into the story side of him.
Sure. Thank you, Wei Xiang. A pleasure to be here, and thanks so much for the invitation. I'm Winston Tse, founder of Tokalent. So essentially, we're a recruitment firm that's 100% focusing in the Web3 industry. I actually started this back at 2022, at the same month when FTX blew up. It's been quite an exciting journey. We strongly believe that a lot of Web3 firms have been underserved from a recruitment perspective, especially for the startups. And then a little bit about my background. I actually came from a traditional finance experience background with about 10 years in corporate finance and M&A, helping financial institutions and startups do deals. And then in my interest or for fun as well, I started this thing called Web3 Running Man, which is a Web3 education and careers channel as well.
So I actually noticed you because I saw that there is a recruiter that is posting running videos on LinkedIn itself. Currently, where do you share the videos for content purposes, and what inspired you to let's produce running videos on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I've been sharing it mostly on LinkedIn. And I do have a YouTube channel in place as well, but that's in development. But the idea actually came from, I've always been passionate about sports and been running about 14 years ago back then when I was working at Standard Chartered. And I know they're big in organizing races and running marathons in Hong Kong, Singapore, across in Asia, right? But the running video format was partly that was really inspired by a gentleman called Ned Phillips, who is the founder of the sales movement and ex-founder of Bamboo. That format was something that got me excited. And, one day I was actually running. I didn't think too much about it. I thought, why won't I start pressing record on my phone? And then, long story short, I'm now 20 something episodes in. Share this on a weekly basis. Basically we cover about career, personal development, and about news as well, combining that together.
I see. So in terms of the positive takes away, what is your biggest takeaway from doing the running video so far?
Yeah, I think I've been, the responses I've been getting have been quite overwhelming. Like even some people that I met 3-4 weeks ago through Consensus, they came from different parts of Asia. I personally haven't met them in person, and neither have they met me. So some of them would actually recognize me as you're the guy I've seen running and talking about crypto. You're the Web3 running man, aren't you? So I think it's been good in terms of like a conversational opener, opens up more doors. From a personal branding, has been good, and it's doing something, it's merging between two passions of mine, Web3 and being active in sports and running. So yeah, I think I've been overwhelmed by the response.
Well, definitely looking forward to more videos and yeah, looking forward to the YouTube too, so that I can subscribe to it. So the thing is, I think on LinkedIn it's very funny. It's not that, when you post something, I would definitely see it. We have to pray that the LinkedIn AI pushes the content across. So it's a little bit unique per se. So maybe one last part about this is for anybody who is thinking of, posting more videos on LinkedIn. Do you think they should, or what tips do you have for them? Because I think you are somebody who have been there, done that, and I see that you enjoy what you're doing. So what tips do you have for people who are looking at to post videos on their LinkedIn?
Yeah, I think it's just posting things and getting it out, sometimes not trying to perfect the whole process. Because at any point, there could be something you speak about that might not have been well thought of. I mean, sometimes it's doing things more ad hoc, impromptu, and getting it out is more important than really spending too much time in crafting the actual little details of the message. Because most people are, just enjoy the message that you try and convey in whatever formats is it. So um, treat LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever channel you have like social media journaling about your learning. It's like your learning journal basically. So I think sharing that to anybody would be already useful.
Thank you, Winston. So, okay, thanks for sharing so much about, how you actually got to become a running man in Web3, and I look forward to more content. So the other side that, we wish to learn a lot from you is, the Web3 accountant is a community of Web3 finance and compliance professionals, or even leaders who are interested into this area. So before we go into, I think the leaders portion is like for anybody who is looking for a job in Web3 finance or compliance, given today's job market. Do you have any tips or stories or some comments that you can give to them?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to give you a little bit of background that I actually wear multiple hats as well. I'm also a committee member of Association of Blockchain Compliance Professionals. So we're here to promote compliance within the Web3 and digital asset space. At least, in Asia and in globally, I've been definitely seeing regulatory adoption, in terms of digital assets company having to go through all these regulatory procedures in order to get licensing. That's really been a big part of our business as well. In terms of, I'm also writing this guide as to the hiring steps for these companies. If you think about it, for these companies, there's a couple of things they need to do. Number one is they actually need to hire these people like responsible officers, responsible individuals as a starting point because those are mandatory hires. So I'm talking about things like if you're going through the routes through SFC or VARA and Middle East or through MAS. And then the second key piece are people with the legal and compliance knowledge and experience. They're really going to be the one leading the regulatory process, driving through the application for the firms. So that's why it's been a very sort of key piece. And this piece been they've been absorbing a lot of people. The crypto firms and exchange has been absorbing quite a lot of number of individuals for this. And then there's also so talking more about finance and ops. I feel that actually goes sort of hand in hand in the crypto space as well. So that's about people companies setting up wallets, transaction reconciliations, uh, building these procedures and process in place. These particular areas been attracting a lot of people in the crypto space. It's been growing. This is especially in strong demand given what's been happening with Bybit as well. The importance of having these safeguards and mechanisms in place. So yeah, that's really been a driver of some of the demand. But in terms of people getting in, it's more about you know, it's never easy to break into the industry. I think I've seen more people from banks and securities firm making that jump just because there's more relevance. You know, if you think about crypto exchange, it's a bit like instead of trading Alphabet or Facebook or Google, you're trading a BTC and ETH, etc. Right? So there's a lot more similarity as to the skill sets for TradFi companies joining into the likes of regulated digital assets firms.
Thank you. So on this note itself, to for a specific group of people within this group, like I do have a group of Web3 people who are interested in Web3 from finance, and then they are mainland Chinese. So their
Hmm.
nationality is mainland Chinese, and I know that you are recruiting a lot in Hong Kong. So for such candidates, do they
Hmm.
stand a chance to get hired within the Web3 space, and or what can they do to increase their chance of being hired and get their first leg in? Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of the VATPs, like the crypto exchanges in Hong Kong, or licensed ones, or even some of those that are operating in the space, they quite a lot of them are actually Mandarin and Chinese speaking, firms. So I would say, actually having being a Mandarin native Mandarin speaker would put them as a it will be it will give them competitive edge. But obviously, English standards in Hong Kong is also pretty high. So having a combination of both would be just as important. If not, it would actually put you as an advantage to join the space. Yeah.
Thank you. Then the other one is also is salary standards higher in Hong Kong or in Singapore currently, because I see you do hiring on both sides as well. Like for a compliance officer in Hong
Yeah. Mm.
so not sure
I
if you're
I
able to share. Yeah.
yeah, I would say they are relatively comparable. There are certain roles just because I think there's a little bit of difference between the two spaces. Um, Hong Kong's a little bit more driven by the exchange, the wealth management, sort of investment firms, whereas in Singapore, I feel it has definitely a greater Web3 companies ecosystem in terms of at the protocol level, layer ones and all those. They tend to choose Singapore as the hub. So the profile of candidates for both sides is a bit different if you look at it across the board. Because if you look, it tends to be that the exchanges, a lot more of the hiring comes from TradFi firms, whereas the Web3 protocols, more of them would come from a tech background, right? But given if you say, it's supposed to be apples to apples role, I would say that the salary is more or less quite comparable as well for both places.
Thank you, Winston. So the other one is, just now we covered, job seekers looking in, how is the job market. Thanks for sharing your deep expertise. So for leaders who are looking to use recruitment firm, how does Tokalent actually stand out against, traditional HR hiring companies like the leaders in the market itself? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, good question. This. So we actually stand out from the fact that we are being very focusing on the digital assets crypto space. There's in Asia there's actually not a lot of that's 100% doing this. And by being more, so we term it crypto native, we really understand, the technology, the trends, what's driving behind these roles. And I think sometimes when you talk about the intricacy, just giving an example, if we're talking about a layer one protocol, hiring a technology person, they need to know. the blockchain understanding inside out, right? I personally been looking at crypto since 2017. From a personal investment perspective, and also just been generally had a keen interest in the industry. So I think having that know-how and really understanding uh, what the role entails and what these actually candidates do in a daily basis, and understanding how they're bringing value to the company. Be it somebody from cybersecurity, they're looking end-to-end processes, putting those safeguards in places, having those hot world colored switches, and all those having that understanding of DeFi. These are the things that we can communicate the role and communicate about the candidates probably better than others who wouldn't have that extensive coverage in Web3.
Thank you, Winston. I think that is definitely true because, I mean, if you want to match a candidate to the company itself, introducing it both ways without the Web3 expertise is a challenge. Yeah. And I mean, with that, anybody who have enjoyed this episode, do subscribe to our episode and do look for Winston's contact in the comments below. Do reach out to him. Maybe you're a candidate or a company, thinking, to use his Tokalent as a recruitment firm. Yeah, Winston, any last words from you to give a shout out to the audience?
No, nothing particular. I think, feel free to reach out to me if there's anything about career or personal development, or how to even break into the Web3 sector. I'm always here to open for a conversation. I hope to promote more people to join our industry. And thank you so much for the invite to this Web3 accountant radio session. Really enjoyed this.
Thank you, Winston. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.